Okay, so last episode we talked about how to get started with podcasting. We went over everything that you need from equipment, microphones, where to host your site, how to upload it to all the major podcasting outlets if you use that site. I mean, we can do another video and dive into that. But we really went in. Like, it was a 20-minute video, and it was probably overwhelming for a lot of people. But that's the thing. Getting started being a podcaster, getting started that information out there, it can be overwhelming. Like, it's not easy. And I hope that with that video you come to understand that podcasting is not a simple thing to start. But if you're really serious about it, and you get everything that you need to start, or you take what you already have and you start there, it's worth it. And especially if you got a voice that you want to share with the world. So that being said, this episode, we're going to talk about how to market your podcast, because you got it up, you got it on these platforms, you're recording, you got episodes, but how do you market it? Well, we're going to answer that. Let's get right on into it. All right, so before we begin this video, I really want to give a special thank you to you guys that have just been with me so far, like that have just enjoyed the content that I've been making here on YouTube, enjoying the streams I make on Twitch, and the content I put up on various social media outlets. So really want to thank you guys. And if you haven't already, if you want to catch my streams, catch me over on twitch.tv/Mekel Kasanova. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and occasionally on the weekends. So hope to see you there. Let's just go ahead and dive right on into it. So here's the thing. One of the things that I've noticed quite frequently is when people who are content creators, streamers, podcasters and more, they're trying to figure out, primarily small businesses and even big businesses are trying to figure out, how do I market? Now, this is kind of going to be a video about marketing, branding, how to get your name out there. And it's something that is quite interesting because a lot of people I'm seeing, especially podcasters, don't know how to market their show. And it's a very simple concept. It's very simple, but people overcomplicate it. Now, here's something you don't do. This is a no, you don't do this. You don't go and tag people who have nothing to do with your podcast or your content or your streams or whatever it is. You don't tag people thinking that's how you're going to promote it. It's an interesting thing because I kind of want to dive into where that comes from. I feel like that came from Facebook, that people were doing that. They would tag, you'd see these long tags and you'd have the people just like and share it again. That doesn't work right now. You don't want to use Facebook to promote your podcast. You don't want to use that method either, where you're tagging a bunch of people. Here's the thing. I see a lot of podcasters that I know, they've been doing this so long. They've been doing it way longer than I have. And for some godforsaken reason, they keep tagging everybody. I've even had to reach out to a couple of them to tell them to stop tagging me because it's a scummy self-promotion tactic. They do it with the podcast, they do it with their streaming outlets, they do it with the YouTube. And I don't understand why anyone would think that that's a method of growth. All it does is create a lot of people that either don't like you, it creates enemies, or it just makes sure people that may potentially have been someone who would have listened to your podcast now won't listen to your podcast or look at your content. That's exactly what that does. So what you do want to do is you want to promote it with some type of content that is visual, that is auditorial. You want to give people like it's like, okay, so it's like this. When you go to the food court in a mall, right? You know how when you walk by restaurants that are just lined up, they all have these, they give you a sample. So basically, it's the same principle for marketing your podcast and marketing also your content, no matter what it is, Twitch or YouTube. It's the same thing, even your brand. You want to give a sample. You want to give something that's just meaty, that's just got that, like I gotta come back and get more of it. You want to put that out there. So typically, I would say anywhere from, if you're going to put this audio or video format, you want to have it anywhere from between 30 seconds and 2 minutes, because that's typically the attention span before people just tune out, right? So if you're going to do video, like I do video and audio podcasts, if you haven't called the Kasanova podcast, I'm going to have a link pop up where you can click on it. You can watch it, listen to it. There's a playlist that'll pop up as well. So you're going to have two cards that are going to pop up here, for video and for audio, and then catch the link down below in the description. So it's going to be, you want to take the best aspect of your podcast, whatever the episode is. Take a really good clip, chop it into 10, anywhere from like 30 seconds to 2 minutes. It's video. Add in a little like special, like if you've got like a banner or like some type of logo or some type of animation, add it at the beginning and then add it at the end where people can find it and like have it fade out. It is truly one of the most effective techniques to get people interested, because they're going to look at it, they're going to listen to it, they're going to watch it, and they're going to be like, I need to find out more about this. Where can I catch the rest of this? This is a really good conversation going on. I want to know more. That is how you hook them in, by giving them a sample. You want to give a really good sample. Your podcast is primarily audio and you want people to check it out, but here's the thing. A lot of people have this tendency to just like drop a link. And here's the thing, when you're using social media, you need to use pictures and video. In the case of promoting a podcast, audio and video, you need to utilize Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. You need to utilize video because it needs to do something to catch the person's attention. Now, if you're going to use audio, you're probably wondering, how do I do that? How am I going to put my audio podcast in video format and upload it? Like, what am I going to do? I'm not a technical wizard. I don't really know what to do. It's really simple. There's this one that you can do it for free. You get like 10 episodes you can do, or 10 little videos you can do a month. And if you want to pay for more, you can do more, but there's 10 you can do a month with this special platform, and it is called Headliner. Now, Headliner is really good. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you guys because I think it's something that you could really benefit from, and it gives your podcast something that stands out. It makes it look so good. And again, it's free if you want to use 10 video clips a month, and it really helps it stand out. So let's go ahead and go over to that website so I can show you what that looks like. All right, so we're over here on Headliner. So as you guys can see, it's called headliner.app. So you want to go over there if you want to, sign up. So this is what it looks like. This is the website you can go to, and you got a couple of hot links here. You got features, gallery, pricing, API, learn, blog, login, sign up, and more. So you can scroll through, and it's the best way, like literally, honestly, it's not lying when it says that the video is the best way to promote your podcast. It is true, or radio station rather. It is true. It is very true. So we're going to scroll down, and it says right here, social video generates 1,200% more shares than text and image content combined. So it's literally three things. As it says right here, you can bring your audio, video, or ideas, add animations, captions, GIFs, videos, images, and more. And then you can export and share across your social accounts. You can put it on everything: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Snapchat. Here's some examples of what it'll look like, if you do.
When the book came out and people were critical of it, that was as if it was a girl thing. But it's not a girl thing. It's a poetry project thing.
And then here is another one right here if you want to include your video content.
I'm not after anything from you because people will sniff that out fast. You have to go in generally excited about what they're doing, just wanting to learn what they're doing, and then
and all that's super simple. Like, it's literally everything is right there. Literally, it's literally drag and drop, right? You can do waveforms, full episodes, transcripts. If you want to pay for unlimited videos, you can do that too. So many people use it. Look, no, they're not sponsoring. Headliner's not sponsoring this video. I'm just saying this is a method you can use. But look, we'll dive into some of the things. So if you want to look at, one of the other features, how discoverable is your podcast? This right here, drop your podcast URL, your feed or your iTunes URL. You can drop your email address. It'll give you stats and information about that. You can also find out, if you're logged in, this is what it looks like. If you want, it's got templates you can use. There are pre-made ones that you can utilize. You can just drag and drop. You got video transcripts. Like, it's super easy. Different projects, you can do animations. It's so simple. We head over here if you're curious about how much it costs. I recommend using the free, but you can always step it up depending on how serious you are about utilizing this. But you can go from either a monthly, you can do monthly, anywhere from $25, $12, or free a month. You can do custom one for if you're going to do enterprise, or if you want to switch over to yearly and save. And typically, anytime you see companies offering a yearly rate versus a monthly rate, typically the yearly rate is going to save you a lot of money, just so you know. But there you go. There's a lot of options there for you can do a lot of customization, and definitely I would say it's worth it. But when it comes to just promoting, okay, so you got that. Now there's a service you can use to make your audio for your podcast go into a video format. Now what do? So you want to go and post typically Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. So if you post on those platforms, post your best clips that are typically, let's say if you do TikTok, you got a minute range, right? Twitter, you've got about 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Instagram, you can do the 1 minute block, or if you want to do long stories, long videos, you can go all the way up to about 5 to 6 minutes. So typically you want to have uniformity across the board. If you're going to upload to these 3 platforms, what you want to do is make sure, take a 1 minute clip, right? Let's just say, let's ballpark it out to a minute. Your first or second best aspect of the episode you're doing, put it in that little block of time of a minute, then upload it to those platforms.
I know what Yona's like. Yona is like a doll that suddenly develops a life of her own. That's what Yona is like.
No, because then we've got Violet Evergarden, which is the exact same thing, a doll that develops a life of her own, but that was good. It made me cry.
So if you're on Twitter, here's the thing. A lot of people I see utilize hashtags on Twitter and don't realize that hashtags on Twitter, 1, they don't look clean, and 2, they don't help you with discoverability. The only time you really want to use hashtags on Twitter, maybe you're doing a promotion. Like for me, I do promotional stuff with Square Enix, Bandai Namco, Microsoft. So if I'm doing something with any of these companies, then I have to put hashtag whatever, within the parameters of what they're doing. It's a promotional for them. It's also a tracking tool for them. For you, for promoting on Twitter, don't use anything. Make a descriptive post. Sometimes use some little emojis, like, use like the siren emoji, or utilize the yellow, hazard sign, or the cautionary sign, and then all caps, like new episode, or check this out.
I mean, the harsh reality is that a Twitch sub nets the streamer about $2.50, right? A month.
Like, do something, be really creative to get people to see it, right? And then make a descriptive post with the 240 character limit that you have. Describe where it is, and then at the bottom of it, and be like, catch the episode here, : and then the link. And there you go, right? That's how you can get it out there. Instagram is where hashtags matter, right? So usually Instagram is kind of a frustrating place for growth, because sometimes hashtags work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you need to put them in the post, sometimes you don't. But let's just go with this instance. So do the same thing you're doing with the same exact thing you're doing with Twitter, and descriptive posts, and then ... Literally, you're going to do a line of dots. Then you're going to put up to 30 hashtags if you want to do up to 30. I typically try to keep it around, what I'm trying to talk about, make it relevant. So podcast, hashtag podcasting, hashtag podcast of Instagram. If you want to do something like that, put those in, put a description, like a location, like me, I'm in Hawaii. So hashtag Hawaii. And then also make sure you're keeping it, you want to throw in something that is trending, like 2 or 3 hashtags that are trending. The rest that are relevant to what you're talking about, 1 or 2 geographical location hashtags, hashtag Hawaii, hashtag Honolulu, and then from there putting it, hit post. And if it's a video, boom, it's gonna get. Also a good place for discoverability if you're on Instagram is stories and reels. Post to those. We use 1 hashtag in those. So if you do reels, you can do 1 hashtag. If you do the story, do a hashtag. But make it look pretty, right? Just make effort for the presentation to look good. And then the last place I'm going to talk about is TikTok. TikTok is a really good platform for discoverability. So many people are still sleeping on this platform where you can still grow. There's still room for growth. I get hundreds of views a day on my TikTok. So tiktok.com/Mekel Kasanova, or you can just, Mekel Kasanova, you can find me there. So TikTok has probably, I want to say, 100 character limit, I think. So what you want to do is put your posts. You can, once you put in your post, you can put in your GIFs and emojis and all that stuff, right? It's very similar to Instagram stories. And then once you do that, a small caption, and in that caption, after you post it, use no more than like 3 or 4 hashtags. Whatever's trending, another trending hashtag, your location, and podcast, whatever, right? That's it. That's all you got to do. That is how you promote your podcast. It's super, it may sound complicated, but keep posting daily. Don't tag people thinking that's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to run people away. But post daily, post effectively, and honestly, that's how you're going to grow. But that being said, that's the video of how to market your podcast. You're going to start to see your numbers raise, and just consistency is the key here. Consistency. So with that being said, guys, what do you think? Are you a podcaster? Do you have a podcast? Are you having a good time with podcasting? Are you struggling with it? Whatever your thoughts are you struggling with different aspects of marketing or recording or soundproofing or whatever your thoughts are, whatever it is, or even triumphs? Let's talk about some positives. Let's talk about some triumphs. Whatever those are, let's get the conversation going down in the comment section below. And with that being said, guys, if you enjoy this content, you want to support, we got Patreon. So patreon.com/Mekel Kasanova. We got YouTube channel membership if you want to help out. So either or, whichever way you go, you're going to get exclusive content that's going to help you and also dive into more things. And another thing, jump into Discord. We got a Discord, amazing Discord community full of gamers, content creators, and more. So for more information, if you want a direct line of access, if you don't want to use social media but you want to have communication with me, you can catch me over there. And yeah, that's episode 2 of How to Podcast. How did it feel when you got selected for the role of Barrett in Final Fantasy VII Remake? Like, was that surreal for you, or
felt like a kid on Christmas morning who got everything that he asked for? Literally, I jumped up, danced, did circles. My wife was like, calm down, calm down. I'm like, you don't understand. This is a game that I grew up playing. This was the first RPG. There had a black character in it that I could relate to, and he lived. He didn't. He didn't die. He was a leader, and so I was beyond thrilled. I didn't know how big at the time. I still, a buddy of mine, Alex Main, who runs KupoCon conventions, which if you ever get a chance to go, you got it. Oh my gosh, best crowd in the world at conventions. But he told me, John, you have no clue. You have no idea. You have no clue how big this is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, every time I see him, I go, you're right. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I never realized that the world loved this game like this, like I did in my little apartment in Chicago. Not in Chicago, but my little apartment when I got married to Michelle. It's like, this is a great game. This is awesome. Oh, finish it in a day. I never realized it was going to be I never realized it was going to be this big, and it's overwhelmingly humbling. And I'm excited. I'm still excited about it. And so I still am that little fanboy running around the house going, "Oh my God, look at that! Just you can dunk in basketball on Atari, Mom." You know.